Hello, and I'm back with part 2 of the baby shower layout, the second page, which has got half of the bunting on it saying shower. And now I've got a big photo of Jenny during the baby shower with the blanket. That's a picture of her with the blanket that I gave her. That was the blanket she was wrapped in when she was a baby and was knitted by my aunt. And it seemed a really nice idea to pass that on to her for her baby. So she was really pleased with that, and she's actually got it draped over her lap. And there's also a photo there that I put in of her when she was a baby wrapped in the blanket. So that was quite a nice moment when she opened that. So that's the picture I've chosen as the main picture for this layout. And I backed it with some of that ribbon paper again, with the pink bows, and onto a doily. And at the bottom there's I've recreated the elephant banner that I made. The photo was on the first layout of the little elephant banner we draped over the fireplace. So back to my silhouette, and I redid those elephants, but in miniature again. So there's the third banner that I've managed to recreate for the layouts using my silhouette and just doing everything small. And then the photos, I've got quite a few photos of all the people that came to the shower, and I'm just trying to find some paper to back them onto. It's always easier to, when you've got lots of pictures, I quite like to put them on, group them onto a piece of cardstock or paper, so that they're easier to use and easier to lay down. So I've got 3 vertical pictures or portrait shaped pictures, which I'm going to put onto this pink polka dot paper, and then there's 4 landscape pictures which I'm also going to back onto the same picture. So once they're backed onto the paper, they're easier to manipulate and decide where I want to put them. I'm just sticking these onto the backing paper. And it's a very similar colour. That is like a pinky peach, but it goes quite well with those little pink clouds. It's a very similar pink to the clouds. So I'm just trimming that down, ready to put that in place on the layout. And I'm going to do the same with the other 4 photos in a moment. Not quite sure what I'm doing. I think I'm just trimming it off a little bit. And then just put that in. That's roughly where that's going to go. And then I'm going to do the same with the other photos. Back them onto this card. There we go. And just trimming that down. I made a bit of a mistake with the trimming of this one, and I actually trimmed it almost too narrow on the right hand side. It didn't quite go straight, so I'm going to have to do something to take the eye away from that, so that it doesn't look too obvious that I've messed it up. That's where they are going to go. Now I found this pink tissue paper. What I'm going to do, which I've do quite often, I love doing this little pink frill along the side, where you just do a line of tape and then you concertina it along the side of the photograph. So I'm just going to do it along the side here where that strip is going to go. So, and it's a very similar colour to the backing paper, so it won't really show once that's all on that I messed up the trimming of the card. It's all about deceiving the eye, something we're all quite good at, I'm sure, covering up our mistakes. There we are, I've stuck it down there. And that's where I just trim off a bit where it's gone over the edge, and then I'm going to have to put a bit of foam on the back of this strip, because to lift it over so that it sits nice and flat on the frill, I'll need to just put a bit of foam, so it just raises it a little, and then it will just tuck over the top of that frill at the side. I'm just going to stick that on. It's not quite long enough, so I've had to do another little strip across the bottom. I'm just going to stick that down to the back of this cardstock and do another little strip at the bottom there, and there we go. It just should sit nice and snugly. It's there. And I really had to think about whether to do the same with the other strip. I didn't know whether to put another frill on there or whether to raise it up so that it was at the right height. But in the end I decided it would all be too busy if I put another frill on there. So I've left it flat, because then the 2 strips would be higher than the picture of Jenny, and I didn't really want that to be the case, so I've just left the one strip on the right as a bit raised, and then the other one I'll leave flat. And now I'm just going to stick down my little elephants. So I used the same cardstock. I had a free pack of cardstock with my Silhouette when it came, and that's the cardstock I used, or the paper that I used for doing the banner that I made. And I've used it again, the little scraps that I had left, to make these little elephants. So it's pretty much exactly the same as the banner, as the bigger banner, all done in miniature, and I think they look so cute along the bottom there. And because I've got elephants on the other layout, but they were taken from the napkins that I used, I thought I'll just put these little elephants on this layout. So then I've got all three of the banners that I made reflected on the layout. And I thought this needed just another layer, so I've used that minty green cardstock to create just another layer for this photograph before it goes onto the doily. And I'm just going to stick that, I think, onto the doily now. Yes, I am. There we are. And I'm just going to stick these. I've sort of been thinking about what's the best way, what to do with these two strips, but I think I've decided to keep it simple. Stick one down with the foam and one just flat to the page. This layout won't need an awful lot of embellishment. It's really quite busy with so many photographs, but I wanted to put these photos, try and put everybody that was at the shower into the layout so that we can look back on it in years to come and know who was there. So there was 23 of us all together. It was quite a house full. Lots of Jenny's friends from work. We had some of our family. My sister was there. Some of her partner's family were there. So we had two great-grandmothers-to-be. Both Jenny's nan and Gary's nan were there, and it was lovely to have all the generations represented. And it was a lovely gathering. Everybody really enjoyed it. Jenny had a wonderful day, and I think that's what my journaling is saying, just how much Jenny enjoyed it, having everybody together. Lots of people that perhaps wouldn't normally have been gathered in the same room in such a relaxed atmosphere, and it was lovely. With when we had the afternoon tea and we had some games. And it's something that's quite new to me. I mean, we didn't have baby showers in my day, so it was a lovely day. And I'm just doing a few little embellishments. I had a leftover elephant there, and another little onesie that I'd cut out that was a little bit too small for the banner when I made it. So I've used. There's a couple there I've just stuck on that I just had left over that I put in a pot, ready to use, and another little acrylic heart in a pink that I put on the bottom there. So really the embellishment didn't need to be too heavy because there's so much going on this layout with all the pictures and the elephants marching across the bottom and the banner. Another little cloud at the top, little yellow cloud this time. Was another little vellum one I had in my kit. And finally I'm just putting down some more sequins as I used on the first layout. Same colour scheme, just dotted around the photograph just to give a little sparkle and to finish off the page. And I think the final thing I will do, which I also did after I finished filming the first layout, is to put a few I should put a few sprinkles of Heidi Shine in rose. Is it primrose? It's pink anyway. It's the pink Heidi Shine. So I did put some on the first layout after I finished filming, which you probably would have seen in the stills. I'm just stamping the date on. That's the last thing. And here we go. Here goes the little bit of pink splatter I'm just adding. And I managed to splatter it on the date, which wasn't very clever. So I'm just a few little sprinkles around the page. So this was a much quicker layout because I'd already half done it when I started. So thank you for joining me again, and do join me again soon. I have another one that will be following these two fairly shortly. Thank you. Goodbye.